So I was just calling my solicitor, calling here, calling there, trying to fix it. It didn't work. And then I just gave up. I said, you know what? It's not going to happen. I was going through a lot of mental health at that point. So I was like, it's not going to work. I'll just stay focused and do what I have to do for now. Then I moved on to the coaching since then.
Welcome back to another episode of Quality Touch Podcast. I'm joined here with a very, very special guest. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, I'm Ramin. I'm a football coach and a scout. Originally, I'm from Iran, but been in the UK since I was 14. And yeah, that's all right.
Brilliant. Before we get into Ramin's story, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, before we get into your story though, I've got a little game to play. That I do this with every guest. Most of the time I've done it at the end, but I'm going to do it at the beginning.
Okay.
It's called SOP. You cannot name, so we're going to do football as your football coach. You can't name a player and then name beginning with SOP. So you can't say Saka, Palmer, etc.
Okay.
So I'm going to allow you to start. We'll do maybe like 3 rounds and we'll get into it, yeah? All right, cool. So you can just name a player. I've got a timer on my phone. You have 5 seconds after I say a player to say someone or you're out.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
You ready, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
I'll start it then. Ben Johnson.
Thierry Henry.
Harry Kane.
That's the funny part of it, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, you got that 5 seconds
cool.
anyway.
We'll do 2 more, yeah. We'll do 2 more. All right. You start it.
Okay, Francesco Totti.
Sorry?
Francesco Totti.
Oh, sorry. Modric.
Diego Maradona.
Danso.
Lionel Messi.
I was going to say that. Ronaldo.
Ali Daei.
Hazard.
Maduke.
Who?
Maduke.
Oh. Well, Madueke, the Chelsea. Okay. Yeah. Jackson.
Oh, now we're going that way, yeah. Ashley Cole.
You're saying a lot of retired players. Gusto. All right, cool. You're going. All right, cool.
We're going that direction, right?
All right, Gusto.
Yeah. Did you just say it?
Yeah, Gusto. My Chelsea right back.
Oh, okay. Frank Lampard.
Reece James.
Luis Figo.
Oh, my days. Disasi.
Conte.
Alaba.
Ashley Young.
Caicedo.
David Beckham.
Mason Mount.
Anyway, I'll give you this one anyway.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, wicked. All right, what, do you want to do one more or are we going to go straight into your story?
No, we're fine.
All right, cool. Wicked. All right, so I won. I've only lost 2 games and that was against Mofe and I forgot the other person.
Oh, you lost that one, did you?
Yeah, I lost it, so.
Okay.
But yeah, man, so I want to know like where it all began. So you said that you're from Iran.
Yeah.
What was it like living over there?
In which way?
Like, so you're born, you're getting ready to go to school. Like, what was school like? Like,
Okay.
What was this life like over
Well,
there?
school-wise, it's way different than here. So the education system and going to school, it works different. I'm born in a small town in southern Iran. It's called Shiraz. And during my childhood, I brought up in a family, a farmer family. My dad was a farmer, and going to lands and help him out a lot. At the same time, going to school, so living that village life, very different to the city. I start to play football just like any other kids since very early, 4 or 5 year old. Going to school, kicking about, going back home again, kicking about. I consider myself at that point a bit naughty boy. Just if you were naughty, then you would be in trouble. So that's how it was back then. there is a lot of memory I made in the past, but it's hard to remember because it's been nearly 18, 19 years I haven't gone back home. And I just kind of lost the connection between what's going on in there and what's going on over here. But generally speaking, being around your family, speaking the language you speak, I would say that's the best part of it. But then again, as you grow, life will change and you have to go and take a different path based on what you like, what you want to do, and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about when the first time you came to England.
Okay. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came to England when I was 14, and at that point, I was on my own. I came as a teenager, so couldn't speak English, didn't know what's going on in here, what's life like, what's people like, what's the culture like. So slowly, I started to adopt bits and bits. When I came to this country, I came as an asylum, so I had to go through hard way rather than just like many others, having the things, don't need to be worried about the stuff that I was stressing about, because obviously I had to find a place that I could sleep. I had to find food to eat. I had to go and educate myself in a school. Didn't have a visa. All these sort of things. It was just a lot for me to adopt.
Yeah. So how did you get into school? Like, how
Oh.
did all that? Was you in North London when you? Where did you
No,
even
when
go?
I was in South London.
Okay.
I came to Croydon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was living in an area called Catford.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catford, Sydenham. I'm not sure if you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when I came, at beginning is difficult because the direction that I had to go through, it was not my choice, but I had to because I needed to get my paperwork to be able to go and study, to be able to go and rent a place, to be able to work.
Yeah.
So it was a lot to take. I was missing my family at the same time. I lost my dad. And yeah, you're taking me so way back right now. Like, like all the details, like it's just kind of appearing right now. It was difficult because it took me nearly 14 years to get my visa.
Wow.
And that was the most challenging part for me because I wasn't allowed to work, I wasn't allowed to study, and I wasn't allowed to be me, to be the teenager that I could be. So yeah, it was really difficult. It was really difficult.
Okay. So yeah, no, because So this is around 2007. A lot of people are probably still imagining life as it is now. Like mobile phones weren't the same back then. Like you're not going on Google on your phone to like see where you're going. You're probably gonna have a map, or you're gonna. I don't know how you manage to communicate, because there's a lot of people that I know that they're obviously English isn't their first language,
Yeah.
and obviously it's impressive that they're able to communicate in English now. But if I go to a foreign country and they can't speak English, I can't speak their language. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
It's difficult.
So being able to still get yourself around is impressive, especially at that age, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the most important bit was knowing what you want, the goal that you have in your head, and the vision, going towards that vision. So I feel like when I came, at some point it was not my choice, but then it was my choice too. So obviously my vision was, about football. I wanted to become a professional football player and so on. But when I arrive, I see the life is different. Now I have to go through a different direction. But at the same time, I have to keep the momentum and focusing on what I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And when you think about the youth right now and what I had to go through at that point, I don't think it's comparable.
Nah, they got it a lot easier now.
You have to work, not just work. The work that you get, you're not going to get even paid enough money for it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what you make, you have to pay your solicitor to sort out your paperwork. And then again, when you get rejection, then that money is gone. So that's the money part of it.
Yeah. Right.
Emotional part, every second of it, I used to cry. I used to cry and carry on. I used to go sit in a corner and cry and still carry on. Because I knew what I would like, what I want to be. But then again, there were some nice people during that day, that just a bit of advice, maybe not money-wise, maybe not work-wise, but just showing you the right direction. It helped me a lot. And yes.
Okay. So how did you said that you were into football already, but how did you get introduced to football in England?
In England.
Yeah.
That was the purpose I was here. So
Okay.
I used to play football when I was, I start very early age. Then when it comes to 13, I went to one of the top team in Iran called Istiqlal. It was during the pre-season. I went there, and then I trained with the team. They liked me, the coach, everyone, and they were like, okay, we're going to sign you, so you're going to stay here. But I had to travel to capital, which is Tehran, North Iran.
Yeah.
Then again, life was difficult for me to stay there, and you know what I mean? It's different. When you come here, you see there's no way back. You have to just go forward, one way direction. There's no room to make mistake. But back then I could see, okay, my family is there. I can go back to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was missing my friends. I said, no, who am I gonna hang out with? I'm gonna go back. I want to be around my friend. So I didn't carry on. But when I came here, I went to, after 5-6 months when I was here, so I had to learn the language. So they sent me to these ESOL classes, and that was in Lewisham College. So I went to Lewisham College. After a couple of months, just been playing football with the team in the college and all that. One of the teacher came to me and he was like, "You're playing well. I'm gonna invite you to a place. Would you be able to come?" And I was like, 100%. This is what I want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know at that point where he wants to take me. So a few days later, a letter came, and then I asked somebody to read it for me. That person couldn't read it either. So it was all dry. I was like, okay, leave it. I can't be asked. Because at the same time, I'm working. I get pressure for work.
Yeah.
So then keeping everything together is difficult. So he came to me the week after. "I sent you a letter. Why didn't you come? We were waiting for you." I was like, "Where? What is this?" "This is an actual academy, and we want you to come there, and we'll see how you do." I was like, "Okay, all right. What do I have to do? Tell my friend." They're gonna tell me. I had kind of translator next to me. One of my friends, he could speak better English at that time. So he told me, "Look, this is the location that you have to go at this time, at this day. This is the postcode. Go there." I remember I was working 6 o'clock till 3 in the morning the next day. That was every day. That was non-stop. So in betweens, on my break, 1 hour, 2 hour, I was just getting 2 hour, 3 hour break, quickly go to play my football, and then run back. So say from Catford going to, by the way, it was Crystal Palace.
Uh-huh.
So I went to Palace. I played there. At that point, I didn't know there is something called 6-week trial, 8-week trial, all that, yeah. So, but I was in actual trial. So I played there for 8 weeks, and then everything was fine. I was going to the session, to trainings. Things was going well. I was happy. Forget about the part that I had to make an hour journey, walk back. I don't have the money to get a ticket, or I have to go back to my work. That moment when I was going to football, I was switched off. I was just focusing on my football. Nothing else was coming across my head because that's where I wanted to be. And I was like, you see how difficult it is when you're at work with all these things is happening right now. What do you want to do? Do you want to play or do you want to go back there? So I was like, no, you need to play. And then when the 8 weeks finish, they sent a letter to my address and asking to bring your paperwork and everything so we can sign you. So I asked them to, what do I have to do? I don't have the passport. I can't sign, Then I spoke to my teacher. I went the next day to speak to my teacher. I said, listen, this is the scenario. I would love to be there, Is there any way that I can train with them until my paperwork get sorted? So they were like, no, we can't do that. And we didn't know this is the scenario. But in my head that time, I was like, I might get my paper next week or the week after. Because when you are in that situation, anytime you can receive your paperwork. So I was just calling my solicitor, calling here, calling there, trying to fix it. It didn't work. And then I just gave up. I said, you know what? It's not going to happen. I was going through a lot of mental health at that point. So I was like, it's not going to work. I'll just stay focused and do what I have to do for now. Then I moved on to the coaching since then. Okay. I started to take courses.
So that's how Tactical Expert started?
Yeah, that's where the Tactical Expert started.
Okay, so yeah, that must, by the way, that must be massive to be like, look, and it's not exactly your fault as well, like saying you gotta put something that you're working so hard to do.
Yeah. And
understanding that it's not gonna work out, and it's not even because of your football ability. Mm-hmm. It's because of things behind the scene. That must it's devastating.
Life changing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah. So where does your coaching journey begin?
My coaching journey started 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I start to take the courses and just like different levels, and then live the life at the same time as well, because as you grow, your life change. The people come in your life, the people around you, and your circle gets changed. My circle has always been small because that's how I am. I like to keep a few people around me, and those people I can really trust, and we can help each other rather than being around so many people to get myself distracted. Yeah, that's where my coaching journey started. I knew that there is something for me out there that I have to achieve, but I just didn't give up. Football doesn't work. Paperwork is stopping me. I can go do my coaching. And then it did work. It did work.
So what team did you start coaching at?
As in first team?
Yeah.
First team. It was a local team. It was a local team. It was a local team that I started to work with in Sydenham.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you find that?
It's different with the mentality that I have now, with understanding that I have about the game right now. I would say when I started, everything was just like this. Because when you look at football as a fan, it's way different than when you start to do coach and look at it as a professional. So it's two different aspects. You got to change your glass. You got to change the way you're thinking. Mm-hmm. You got to change the way that you see people, the environment. And as you are in that journey, just trying to put yourself around the right people, right environment. And I would say it was the greed for me. I was hungry, and I am hungry right now. It was the grit that pushed me go forward. There were so many obstacles on the way, just like any other job. This happens, but for me, it was my grit, consistency, and the passion. When I talk about the passion, I would say if you don't have a passion about something, it's not gonna work. It might work for a short period, but then you're gonna stop because there's so much things happening in life that it will pull you out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what leading up? I don't know if I'm missing anything out, but how did you end up in North London then?
North
Yeah,
London.
because Croydon's a long way away.
Yeah. It's not just North London. It's
Oh,
actually many places.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. So that's how was it even just going to different parts? Because clearly, well, to me, anyways, I realized that there's so many different cultures in different regions, or
Yeah.
different parts of London. So adapting to like me personally,
Yeah.
even when I go to a different part of London,
Right.
I feel like I'm in maybe exaggerating. I feel like I'm in a different country. Like I do not know this area. So I feel I'm observing mostly because if I go back there again, I wouldn't get lost. But like going to different places, having to adapt, is not easy. Like, well, not for me, anyways. Even though I'm from here. So how did you find it? Where did you go to
For
next?
me, it was not the choice to go to those places.
Okay.
It was I had to. I had no option. Like
Okay,
I was forced to go to places, and I would say, yes, I've been. I mean, London, obviously, yes, different part of it, south, north, northwest. But then when we go outside London, we speak about Birmingham. I was literally living next to Villa Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. I was there as well, a couple of months. Birmingham, Liverpool, Wrexham, Chester, Bangor, Holyhead, Holywell. Like most of these Wales, North Wales, I've been to every single part of it, kind of.
A lot of sheep over there.
Nice people though, very nice people, friendly people. I met some great friends. I met some great people, and I think.
Would you say that was similar to home? Because like Wales, I guess there's a lot of farming and stuff, you know?
It's a lot of farms in there. But coming out of that farm bits of it, it's the people, the way that they see you, they interact with you. You can see, you notice things when people speaking to you, when people interact with you, you can understand what is the purpose. At least you got that sense of humor to understand, that approach. But I always been nice to people, and I always consider myself someone like, humble and trying to help others. So at the end of the day, they see the purpose that I am around them, and that generosity. Then they'll start to open up towards you. So it depends how you approach them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very important.
Okay. Well, like the main question a lot of people watching will want to know is how did you end up at Whitestar? There's those that don't know, Whitestar is a team in North London, probably one of the best grassroots team
100%.
in England. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they're doing so well. Obviously you've contributed to it because you were there for many years now. How did that get started?
At some point, I used to come and run early morning, 5 a.m. at Pims Park. That was every single day.
Okay.
I've been doing that for like 2 years. But because I was coming for a run that early in the morning, I never saw people playing football on that pitch.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had no idea. And then I have 2 nephews. So Ali and Aria. When they registered at Whitestar, they told me to come and watch their game. So, because I was training them behind the scene at the same time too. So I was like, okay, I'll come and watch your game. I came and watched Arya game once, and I was like, I saw the environment, I saw the people, I met Ali. I think If I wasn't met Ali that day, I wouldn't be there.
Okay.
Because with him, we have a very good understanding about each other. We respect each other in different ways, coaching wise, lifestyle wise. We actually it's not we are friends. We are good friends. And we had a conversation, and we felt like we are kind of connected with each other. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come and start here. So that's where everything started. The first year when I was there, I took over the under 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Who was in that group? Because I came after you. What year? So what year was this?
I actually don't remember.
I'm assuming it was before COVID.
Yeah, it was
2019, 20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that period.
Yeah, that group, it was a very strong group. I mean, with Whitestar, like as well, yeah, there's some good talents out there. And I mean, every age group, you will definitely find players who are able to go and break through the academies. So at that point, that under 14 was the best team in Whitestar. So not just because I was coaching them, because everybody was talking about it too. You had, I think I saw you. Lloyd came here as well. Yeah, Lloyd was in that. Yeah, Lloyd, David, all of them that was in that age group. It was good to coach them, but then you see with the coaching, you got to understand your players. So for me, it was the most challenging bits at first. It was understand the players, because as you know, everyone come from different background, different race, different understanding, and most importantly, they are still teenager. So I had to prepare myself day by day to catch up, to make sure that I can get the best out of them. And yeah, we had a really good season. We won the treble in that season. Yeah, and players went in academy, got signed, and but at the same time, I was helping other age groups as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you more or less spoke about. What I was going to ask actually, but to follow up on it, so I was going to say, how do you deal with like the players like when you joined? How did you understand them? Because most of them aren't going to. I don't mean based off if you're accent or anything, but they're not going to understand you because you're not coming from England. So they're thinking you're not going to be on the same wavelength as them. So I was going to say, how did you manage to deal with that? Because, for example, in schools, if there's a person that isn't English or whatever, or a TA or a teacher that comes in that's not from the school, people think, all right, this is the time I can mess about. They're not going to be... Do you know, if you know what I'm trying to say? I can't say what I'm trying to say properly, but you know what I mean? How did you manage? That must not been easy.
For myself, it was easy.
Okay.
But for them, it was not easy, because the way that I coached them. So for me, respect, it was number one. So I made sure that everyone understand, when you come to this pitch, it's not just about football. It's about respect. So if a player did not have the respect towards not just me, towards every other players out there, or maybe I see them through the park, they're walking by, or on the street somewhere, I see them, they acting in a way that they shouldn't. I make sure I stop by and I have a chat with them. So it was my restriction. I feel like with the new generation right now, it's good to create that fun environment. It's good to chat with them, laugh with them. Yes, we all gonna have that one, but understanding when, where, and how. That was very important for me. So when they were coming to the session, I knew they are coming to the session. So everything has to be, if it doesn't start with me, how are they going to start to respect me? So my sessions was planned really well. I was sitting till 2-3 o'clock in the morning, setting up my session, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna train, how can I interact with them, how can I make them develop in a better way. So then when I was going to my session, I was already planned. I knew what I'm gonna do exactly. The numbers was down and up. That was not the issue, because that was my job as a coach to set what needs to be set on that day. But I would say respect, hard work, have a good ear to listen. Those were my boundaries, and every single one of them knew it. And that message was passed by them to other kids as well out there. So that's where I earned my respect amongst them.
Okay. And obviously you said that there's players that you've coached that's got into the academy that you've worked with. There's someone that people have seen you post on Instagram, Alfie Dorrington, Tottenham player. What's it like working, or what I say, contributing to a lot of these players' success? What does coaching give to you?
I think
Like seeing these people live on the dreams that
it's the love that you can have for others. If you don't have a love for others, there's not going to be room for them to progress or develop. So first of all, you need to have a love for others and really care about them. So for me, that care, that being around them and making sure they get in the right training, they receive the right mentality, it was the most thing. Because my journey was difficult, and I already went through those directions. So knowing the fact what's going to happen further down the line if they're not focused now, or if they're not being told what to do, what not to do, is going to be challenge for them too. So I kind of told myself, you know what, make sure these kids come into your session, you can get the best out of them. They might not become a footballer, as you know. They might not become a footballer further down. But then they understand how to respect others. They understand what they want in their life, the goal that they want to achieve. Saying that, speaking about Alfie, he was a great kid. I remember when he was turning up to his session, we had other players who, they were there too. They could go to academy, but they were inconsistent. Say, like when you come to the session, they could be, whilst you're speaking, behind you making faces or doing things, and that they feel like you don't realize. But that was not the case for me. It was mostly looking at it in a way, how can I help this kid understand this is not the right way? You could be doing with me. I could stay silent and forget about it, but they face somebody who is not going to forgive them. I wanted them to understand that. He was coming to the session. He was doing, his own thing, train well, coachable. Most importantly, the parent was the most important part. I remember his dad was coming, sitting there, trusting the way I coach his son and not getting interfered. Whether it's a match, whether it's a training, sitting there and watching the game and seeing my training. Himself, what a nice kid. What a nice kid.
Because he's on loan at Aberdeen, isn't it?
Yeah, he had his first professional game with Tottenham, and then after that, obviously he had to, go on loan to Aberdeen.
Yeah.
They won the Scottish Cup.
Against Celtic.
Against Celtic. That was massive as well. Yeah. So those are the things that you can look at. Like, how many coach do you know out there can say, look, I coach this Premier League player. I coached this player. So it is a great achievement, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you also do scouting. I believe you're the first scout that I brought in here. A lot of kids, obviously, those are eager to get into the football academy system. They would want to know what a scout looks for. There obviously people have different requirements and whatnot, but I guess it would be best to hear from you what you think is important for these players. Obviously, not just ability-wise, but what you look at.
We were speaking about how you look at it as a fan and how you look at it as a professionals. At some point, we did speak about that. I think when you look at it as a professional and the demands out there, then you gotta follow what are the needs, what club wants, what position we want player, and how we can go out there and find those players that we need it. For me, when I go out there, I look at player to see if he's coachable, very important, apart from their profile, how they play, like you said, and if they are good or not, we leave down the side. But then when we look at it in a way of, is this the right kid? I'm going to give him the opportunity to come to the club that further down the line, we're not going to have a problem or any issue with him. Not just with him, with the parents. So if I see a parent outside around the pitch, keep shouting at the kid, telling him do this, telling him do that, that's a no for me. I will leave the place straight away. So again, we're going back to that respect part. Hard work, what most of the kids doesn't realize now and again these days, that consistency is what makes them greater. I've been watching player at some point, really good, technical wise, his physicality, his social, his psychological, that four corner we speak about. But then on and off. One game good, one game is not there. One game good, one game is not there. And that lack of consistency is literally changed my mind about them, if I wanted to give them a chance or not. And yeah.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of people think it's easy, you know, like things like they don't realize, they think, oh yeah, I'm good at football, I'm gonna go straight in, you know what I mean? But I feel there's some things that which is unfortunate. I say that obviously you said the parents and whatnot, but then even like your story, a lot of people don't know what's going on in the background. Like, so especially growing up in like London or where we grew up, it's not everyone has the same opportunity. Meaning not everyone has as much money as other people. Some people could be struggling mentally or like money and whatnot. So being able to manage different people that are at different levels is a bit unfair to judge, if you know what I mean. But
judging is gonna be there out there. Like there's always be someone judging you. No matter how good you do, you could do 10 good things, one bad, everyone will point out that bad things you've done.
True.
This is life.
Yeah.
Like I think for me, like I just focus on how I can improve myself, how I can develop. We all make mistakes. In life, we all make mistakes. During my coaching career, I've done mistakes. I made mistakes, hands up. I get it. But I went back home, I tried to understand why I made that mistake, how I can help myself, how I can help that kid. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get the best out of the kid. It's not for me, it's for the kid. So, like, you know, when it comes to grassroots, to be honest, it's when it comes to grassroots, it's difficult. And I tell you how difficult it is. Parenting part. Most like you asked me about scouting bet, what would you look at the player? If a player doesn't have the hunger, is not hungry enough, or don't put the hard work on the pitch, would yourself be giving them a chance?
Obviously, I always want people that are there for the team. Do you know what I mean?
Are there for a team who works hard, who listen to the coach, who is coachable? Here is the story. I went and I watched this kid. Technically, I know that Falcon, he was the best. He was the best. But then when I took him for a trial, the kid was hiding. What I mean by that, he was quiet. He was not showing enough. But then when he was out there, different grind. I feel like, yes, I understand they have pressure. I understand they want to make it. I understand they receive so much information. They receive information from the coach, from friends, people around. But this is part of the journey. These disappointments in life, if they really want to achieve something, it makes them to understand how hard it can be if things doesn't work their own way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they need to go through these hard bits in life, and it's okay to go through these hard bits, but then whoever is more hungry, whoever is more grind, whoever is put a set of mentality that this is where he wants to be, this is what he wants, this is where he's going to move, he definitely has a chance. He's going to make it. Just, I would say, don't get disappointed. Follow your own journey, because everyone's journey is different. Every person has a different journey.
Yeah, I feel like people learn as they get older as well. Obviously, the only issue is if you don't want to get too old, you know what I mean? Because then your chances get slimmer, which is why obviously it's important to get into people's heads when they're younger, so they have that space to develop and learn from those mistakes. You get me? Whereas if you're like let's say you're a shy person, you like when you're playing on the pitch, you don't talk. People are telling, but when they turn 18, they're all loud and confident. It's a bit too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they're young, letting them know, being aware.
Yeah, they need to be aware of that.
They've got time to, okay.
They need to be aware of that.
So what do you think, well, where do you see yourself in the future, like, in terms of football? What are your goals?
It's too early to speak about that, but like everyone else, I have a dream as well. I have a dream to eventually become an international coach.
Okay.
Where I can lead a nation. How it's going to happen, it will happen. It's just myself being in the right path, which I am right now, having the right people around me, which I feel like at this point, the people which is around me, they're kind, they're nice, they look after me, I look after them. We having a good understanding about where I want to be and how I want to help others to achieve their dream. So it comes hand in hand, you know. You help one another, it'll come back to you as well.
So what would you wouldn't want to be coach? When do you think you'll stop coaching grassroots football? So you're saying you want to go into the academy route or like the professional level, because you said you want to do international. Do you have a plan on how you would get there?
I do set a plan. We've been speaking about it, you know, to starting that coaching role.
Yeah.
Which is gonna start when the season starts.
Okay.
So yeah, that's already done. Doing my scouting as well, and I still love the grassroots part as well. Why I do love? Because I feel like it's never too late to help community. This is something I always been passionate as well. I always love to help the community, keep them off the road, making sure they're getting the right mentor. That mentoring part is very important. And I feel like even when I make it, I still be coming around them and see them and try to advise them. I might not just go out there and coach them, but then just give them that little bit piece of advice and show them the real picture, what is like to be there and how they can. You only need one person to listen, by the way, because it's a very competitive industry, a lot of demands. And as you know, as we go forward, it gets more difficult and more difficult. So there is no time for people who wants to waste other times. Because if you have a good ear to listen and just rather than going yourself through a journey that the others already been there and they're telling you, look, we've been already there. This is not your journey. Try to take this path. If they have a good ear to listen early, then it's never going to be too late for them. With the social media, with gaming, computer, phone, and other stuff, I think it's not what I think. It's 100% distraction. And it comes from a person, himself or herself, whether they want to stop that or not.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd call it. I don't know if it's a crisis or what, but I'm at a point in my life, there's so many different things I'm trying to do. Will get sorted that I'm going to be doing my teaching and whatnot. I back in the day, I thought, like coaching in the academy, I've been in there and whatnot. Like, I know what it's like there. Worked alongside so many different people there too. But then with the grassroots, I just feel like, me personally, I feel better getting them into the system than coaching people who are already there. Because I feel like progression is a bit slimmer in the system. However, obviously I've seen you've even worked with international players from your country and whatnot, which is brilliant. I thought of doing stuff like that, even back home, where I could set something up, but I have long-term goals. It's just not, I'm not 100% how I execute it. Like, there's small things I need to tick off first before I go to do that. But I've been in contact. I'm planning on doing the podcast abroad as well. Yeah, get people, because it's not just people in England that have that are on a journey to success. You know what I mean? There's so 100%. Many people, so people can hear what's going on all over the place.
Definitely.
So that is something I've got. When I tell people about something to do for the podcast, even for example, they'll be like, "Oh, why don't you think of doing this?" I already got that.
Yeah.
I've just not done it yet because I'm thinking of ways. Like, it's just timing. Do you know what I mean? For me. So yeah, and that's with me with football. Anyways, I got plans, but not yet. I want to build things gradually. Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, the only difficult bits in the grassroots football, yes, grassroots, because there's so many challenges to deal with. It at some point for a few years, 3 to 4 years, it will help you to learn different aspects of the game, how to handle the game management, dealing with different players, dealing with the parents, because obviously you're not just a coach, you're a father for the team, you're the mentor, you're a friend, you're everything. And those extra thing that we do on that pitch, it's very important. But then at some point in the grassroots football, I feel like there can be so much hate as well from people that you don't even know, you don't even speak to, but then people can hate you out of nowhere. So that's okay. People, this is life. But then thinking about climbing up the ladder, the longer you will stay, at some point the environment as well might put you in trouble yourself. So your career could be jeopardized too, out of nowhere. Because remember, the people in that industry are thinking, living different than the people who are in academies or living professional life, because there's two different mentality. So you'll be seeing people. So as a role model, when you go to a pitch or anywhere to train your kid, you want to make sure you're doing things correctly, right? You want to be a role model for them. But then again, around the game, you see people with the smoke, with cigarette around the pitch, around players. Like, I feel like that is the number one no for me, and is a number one to see somebody who does it around me, because that's not me. I don't like if I go to a place, I want to make sure that kids learn something, adopt a good thing or something positive, rather than seeing someone not like parents, coach, holding a cigarette in the hand and speaking to his team. How you want them to respect you? How you want them to learn? Right?
Yeah.
So very important.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to football anyways. But I wanted to know, like, have you got any hobbies other than football? Like, anything else you're doing?
I love all the sports. Hobby for me, because I had to stand on my own feet since I'm in 13, 14. So if it's different, like, okay, here we go. I like playing golf.
Okay.
I don't mind playing golf. But my favorite sport is chess.
Oh, you're good at chess?
Yeah.
That's something I've played it. No, forget that, scrap that. I played it without knowing what I'm doing. I played it on a game, so I can see where to put it. Real life, I wouldn't know. I've not learned it properly. I played the easier one, the checkers, or whatever it's called, the droughts, whatever.
Everything is mathematic.
Yeah. You gotta have patience with that game.
You need to be very patient. Yeah. Yes, you do need to be patient. Yeah, that's literally, after football, I would say playing chess. Yeah, but then again, I can't swim.
Really?
I don't know how to swim.
There's always time,
Yeah, there's always time, but for me personally, I feel like me going and it's never late to learn things, but I'm a shy person at some point too, so I don't know like how I approach that coach and start to do my swimming lesson. So maybe this been my worthiness. That's why I never went to learn.
Yeah. Funny enough, there's people I know, a lot of people I know, that live in places surrounded by water that can't swim. So, so I guess that's a goal you can give yourself. By next year, hopefully.
Yeah, I think because it was difficult. When I was kid, my parents always wanted me to be at home, not to get in trouble, don't go and mix up with other kids or go to places. I think it's a good thing we come to this bit, because I think at some point parents, yes, you're not going to leave your kid, you're not going to pay attention to them at all, but then we need to allow them go and find their own way as well. Watching them from above, but then we need to allow them to come out there and to start to understand how difficult things can be, how they need to learn. This is the time that they learn.
What I've noticed, which obviously is not necessarily true, but the younger you do things, the easier it is to learn. So for example, learning a language, if you can do that, like kids 2 years old, 3 years old onwards, you can learn another language so young, you're going to be fluent in it 100%. It's easier to know. Whereas if you're an adult trying to learn another language, a lot older, it's going to be a bit more difficult than as a kid, in my opinion. Riding a bike, the little wheels. As an adult, if you're using the tricycle, the wheels at the back, people will be embarrassed. They're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to try and learn the hard way, which is just straight on a normal bike. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're not going to see an adult with the extra wheels at the back. You know what I mean? So I feel like the younger you do things, I think the easier it'll be. But that doesn't mean it will be impossible.
Yeah, 100%. The younger, you learn better, and that bravery can come from the younger, very early ages as well.
Okay. And what music do you listen to? Whether different moments, if you're in the gym, at home chilling, or trying to have a good time.
going back to music, I would say it depends on your mood, right?
yeah.
It depends on your mood. For me, I like I like all kind of music. So there is not a specific one that I could point at, but maybe old school, mostly classic. Yeah, those sort of music.
Like who? Do you have a person in mind?
Not really.
So you just play anything that's...
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
Ed Sheeran, I don't mind. Recently he sang a song called Azizam.
Yeah. I've seen
It's
that.
it's Iranian. Yeah. You see, these sort of things. It depends on the vibes, though. Depends on the vibes.
Okay. And obviously, still on the side of football, anyways.
Yeah.
What team do you support? Obviously, man, I can't believe this. The time we're recording this, yeah, we decided to do it the final day of the league.
Yeah.
Every team is playing.
Wow.
I was trying to quickly check to see the score. I saw Tottenham were winning against Brighton. But, so what team do you support? Hopefully, the team I support wins today because it's important.
The team that I support since childhood, I've always been a big supporter of Chelsea.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so we're on the same page.
I've been supporting Chelsea.
I've not had that many Chelsea fans on this podcast. I'm trying to think back, like, as far as many people. I think I've only had one person. So, yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I've been supporting Chelsea, but then I always say I support Chelsea in the UK, but when it goes to internationally, Barcelona.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people that, or especially if they're not from England, I guess they'll support like Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me. I've been supporting Chelsea. I've said this many times now anyways. I've been supporting Chelsea. Chelsea is obviously the first team I supported. I've only supported Chelsea. There's a lot of people I know that supported more than one team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw Drogba and then that was it for me. I said this. I was like 4 years old. I think 5 years old. 4 years old. I was 4 because I didn't have. You see, people got Sky. They can watch football. My mum's not watching football. She's not gonna pay for that. Like, do you get me? So she's not gonna pay for it for me. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't have access to this. Only when something was big, it will come on like ITV or BBC One, where it's match of the day. I'm seeing highlights for like 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I see him. I'm like, this guy's sick. My favorite color was blue, so that's originally how. And I see Drogba on the cover of the game.
We got so much in common, though.
So I'm thinking, cool. I see Thierry Henry on the game and the color, but he's in red. Yeah. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was as good as he is. Because he's in red. Nah, blue's my color. Yeah. This will be my team. And I didn't look back. I knew I lived in Tottenham. I knew Tottenham when I was playing at Tottenham and everything. Used to go to, when I started ever first playing football, I used to go to this Tottenham Foundation thing where it's called Kicks. And they would give tickets to go to the game. Everything was Tottenham. But I just knew that something in me that, nah, not Tottenham. Chelsea. And I've not seen it. The only time I can see football like that, like I said, BBC One, or I had long hair at the time, so I didn't get my hair cut, but you'll see the barbers playing it, so I might be walking past, I can see it. You know what I mean? So I didn't really know. Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, at some point, I support other teams as well. When I support them, it's important. When they play in the Europa Champions League against foreign countries.
Okay.
So say like if Liverpool go out there and play against whoever else European, I definitely back up Liverpool. Or if Tottenham go and play against European team, I'll say Tottenham.
Okay.
So yeah, I like British team. I mean to win.
So me. It's
so
Chelsea.
It's not like I don't like them. Nah, that's I can't say that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. But yeah, what do you think about how they're playing this season?
They've been doing well, to be honest. They've been doing well. It's just, to get the team gelled together, and I feel like he's getting gelled with each other.
Yeah.
Players and, the whole thing you see after Corona, everything has just gone down, and with the owner, Abramovich, and all these things. So I feel like the club has gone through so much, and whether it was purposefully, whether it was, by intention, we leave that on the side, but we're getting back. We're there. But we always been there.
You know what? Sorry, while you're speaking, I just need to check because I know right now the game should be Oh
Yeah.
gosh, Tottenham's losing. Oh yes, sorry, Chelsea's winning. Levi
Yay!
Colwill. Hey, we might be in the Champions League. Come on, there's 25 minutes.
What's the score like now?
It's 1-0. And
Who
there's,
scored?
Colwill.
Ooh.
Yeah, Levi Colwill scored.
Ooh.
So by the time this comes out, the game would already be done. We're going to be in Champions League football. I know.
This is where we want to be always. You know, this is the excitement.
I had to check this right now. So we're 4th place. Yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Come on, and Newcastle 6th. Oh wow. But yeah, so I needed to check this.
No, 100% you can have the whole time word and tell me that score. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll obviously watch that back later. But yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I think I agree. Like, there's so much going on with What's crazy though?
Yeah.
Obviously I live in Tottenham.
Yeah.
Tottenham won the Europa League against Man United recently, which is mental. The parade was nuts. Like, a lot of people, like, I wasn't even trying. I was trying to go. Like, well, this is what happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was out there. I was like, this is never gonna happen again. I like Tottenham fans. The Tottenham fans that are sensible. They know they're never winning nothing like this again. This is never gonna happen in 100 and something years. So I said, I need to see this. You know what I mean? So like in the future, in 100, like 50, 60 years or something, someone be like, if I had kids or whatever. I was at Tottenham's first ever. I was there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is something that's history.
So you went there, right?
So I went down there, but I'm trying to go to the main side. So I live there. I'm trying to go to the other side. I'm trying to go home. They're saying no.
Yeah.
I could. It wouldn't even. The footballers, they haven't even gotten the bus yet.
No.
They're not letting me go home. I'm trying to go to the other side. I'm saying my house is there. They're saying no.
I've heard the same story. Some
no.
people trying to go towards the stadium and then they were pushing them backwards, go to other direction.
They blocked. No, like I couldn't get to the other side at all. I had to stay there for hours. They said no one is moving. I'm thinking, oh my! So I had no choice anyway.
I had no choice.
Yeah. And then there's people. There was one person. She's thinking we're pushing in. She's like, you have to go to the back. I'm saying I live over there. I'm trying to go to the other side. Then she started crying. Because I'm saying, like, be quiet. I'm going home. Like, what do you mean, go to the back? I'm trying to get to the other side. But, it was mad. It was something, it was good vibes, you know what I mean? Like, the whole community, people from all over the place came down.
Yeah.
Because obviously not everyone that lives in Tottenham are Tottenham fans. But it was good to see.
Obviously, football is more than a game, you know? Football more than a game.
Regardless of who won. Obviously, as a Chelsea fan, I don't want to... For me, it was very tough. Yeah, because I don't want to see Tottenham win anything. But then Arsenal didn't win anything. So Tottenham winning it would have... Just seeing it from as a fan, seeing Tottenham win something before Arsenal is crazy. So it was a bit funny. I was kind of glad for them.
But then Arsenal ladies had to come and respond back even in the Champions League. They don't really well.
They held Arsenal. If not for the women.
Yeah.
Arsenal would be in the mud right now, based off of the not winning anything. But Chelsea's women won the league undefeated. We got the Invincibles. Arsenal's always talking about Invincibles. We got the Invincible, the women.
Definitely.
So, but even that Chelsea, you know the season where we had conceded the least goals.
Yeah.
I think that's more impressive than the Invincible season Arsenal had. You know, personally.
In which way?
Just
having that consistency and structure.
We did really good that season. I can't remember. Obviously, not losing the game is the best. Yeah, but I watched back. There's games they should have lost, but it's football. Back then there was no VAR and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's not the same.
It's part of the game, though. It's part of the game. We like when you go in the system, you have to follow the system. So we adopting those scenario where we have to adopt this. We have to follow the system and the demands and what's out there. Yes, I do agree with some crucial decision that VAR makes. Yeah, but to be fair, without VAR, the game was more in place.
Yeah, I think I prefer it. I preferred it without VAR.
Me too.
Because mistakes happen.
Yeah.
This is what people they're getting paid for. Reality is...
That's what you want to see.
What's the point of having linesmen if you got the... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not really... Really and truly, the referee could be controlling things. If he's wrong, they can go to VAR and they'll be like, no, it's that person's ball. If they wanted to. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not killed the game, but
It's
it's
the
helped,
business,
it's helped it
no?
because, for example, remember Lampard, the World Cup?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, stuff like that, it was important. I understand because that
Similar to Diego Maradona,
yeah,
that header,
if
that
you
hand.
the people that are on the losing side,
Yeah.
it's you like, yeah, I need it. So it's understandable, do you know what I mean? Why it's there. It's a
Yeah.
good thing that it's there, but it's at the same time it's kind of killed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
mistakes, it makes it more, which isn't good. It makes it a bit more interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, if you're on the right side of the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If it happens against you, then obviously you'd be mad. But yeah, that's me anyways. Yeah. Is there anything that we're in your like path that we might have missed out?
There could be so much that you missed out, but
Yeah,
you know, we do what we can, right?
Mm.
We do what we can. I'm not sure where and how and when, because you see, when you start a conversation, yeah, if you want to follow it up, yeah, it's never gonna end.
It's true.
And the most, the nice part of it is, as you go through with the details, then the understanding becomes better, it becomes more clear, you know. But when it's just short, we have to keep up, you know.
Yeah,
we have to just
that's
bring
true.
out the details what we should.
But yeah, I feel like we covered a lot in your story.
We have.
Like a lot of people know you as a person and what you've been through to get to where you are, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, like pushing to get onto the future goals that we discussed earlier, which would be amazing. And obviously, I thought you built yourself a platform to get there. So obviously, you're gonna be inspiring a lot of people because they've seen, especially those that aren't from England, that have to work extra hard.
Yeah.
I think you would be a good example for those people, which is really good. But at the end of every podcast, I always get the guests to say a message to those that are watching. It's like, what would you have to say to those that are listening right now?
To the footballers or
anyone?
Whoever watching?
It could be anything.
Okay. Thank you for watching our podcast. It was nice to be amongst you people. My message to you all out there would be generosity and support each other. And we receive with one hand and we give it away with the other hand. What you do, what you plant now is going to come out later on. So be good with people, do good. Everything is just not money. Don't see people as a tool that you can use to make your way, but then have a real feeling for people to help them to achieve their goal. Because once they are there, life is way different. The feeling that you have, that's worth a lot of money. That's my message out there.
That's brilliant, man. But yeah, this is Ramin's story on Quality Touch Podcast and his journey to success. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
No problem.
Brilliant.
It was nice to have a conversation with you as well. Yeah, this is one of my best friends as well. Yeah, he does all this hard work. So make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel and Instagram. And yeah, watch and share and support each other. This is how we can help each other, you know.